Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging really deep into the universe of Isaac Asimov's For the Foundation. Our mission here with this deep dive is basically to pull out the core ideas,
Yeah.
the surprising links and the human stories behind this huge effort to save civilization.
That's right. It's all about Hari Seldon, this brilliant mathematician, and his journey, really, over decades, trying to create this science called psychohistory. It's a really amazing look at how a massive vision gets started and grows, all while a galactic empire is, well, falling apart.
Yeah, and we want to extract those key bits that show how this incredible ambition just runs headfirst into political chaos. And the personal cost, too. I mean, the huge cost for Seldon and his inner circle dedicating their lives to something bigger than themselves. So expect some twists, some deep thoughts, and maybe a few things that make you question, well, everything. Okay, so this grand vision, it really starts with Seldon himself, doesn't it? We meet him, he's a young mathematician at Sterling University, and he's already deep into this, well, this audacious new field.
Absolutely. Psychohistory. As Asimov lays it out, it's not just math. It's described as a complex system. The whole idea is to predict the future, for whole societies on a massive scale, based on statistics, probabilities. We first see Seldon, he's 32, giving that famous lecture at the Decennial Convention about it.
But what's so interesting right from the get-go is Seldon himself is a bit skeptical about using it immediately. He even tells Emperor Cleon something like, the science wasn't up to it nearly 30 years ago, so no instant fixes here. It was always going to be a long game.
It really was. And, that makes you wonder who actually saw the potential in Seldon's work, maybe even before he fully grasped it. That points to Ato Demerzel, the emperor's first minister. Very enigmatic figure. He's subtly but definitely influencing things behind the scenes. The text says Demerzel is busily creating an insurrection, maybe without even realizing it fully, and he wants Seldon to understand the political dangers.
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting. Demerzel assigned a protector to Seldon 8 years earlier. This woman, Dors Venabili, she later marries Seldon, but she's described as his keeper, always watching out for him. There's definitely more going on there.
Oh, much more. Dors isn't just some historian. She's called a formidable lady, nicknamed the Tiger Woman.
Because of her strength, her reflexes, they're incredible. And Seldon himself, he's always wondering about her. Where did she come from? What's her real link to Demerzel? He keeps asking himself, essentially, was it obedience to Demerzel or love for him that kept her there? That really foreshadows a much bigger secret about her. So while Seldon's wrestling with psychohistory, he gets thrown right into the middle of the Empire's political mess. And a big part of that mess is this guy Joranum, sometimes called Jojo. He's this really charismatic figure pushing for power from the one to the many.
Exactly. His message, things like sector equality and more popular representation, it really hits home, especially with the downtrodden heat sinkers and the Dalits, the working class. And he's clever. He uses these little stories and legends supposedly from his home planet, Nishaya. It makes him seem like a man of the people,
Wow.
Very relatable.
And Seldon, the academic, he actually gets involved directly. He goes to one of Joranum's rallies, confronts his number two, Namarti, even with goons around and no permit for the rally. Seldon's thinking is clear. I broke it up. The university could have gotten a good deal of trouble if I hadn't.
Huh?
He even seems a bit proud, thinking, not bad for a man of 40. He's not just a thinker, he takes action.
But Seldon digs deeper, and he finds out Geranum's whole story is a lie. His real name, Laskin. And he's Mycogenian. Now, why hide that? Well, Mycogenians, they have these unique beliefs, ancient stories about robots, but the rest of the Empire just doesn't take them seriously. They see their beliefs as ridiculous, humorous, unbelievably foolish, and being laughed at. That's fatal if you want political power. Even his perfect hair, it's mentioned as artificial. Another clue.
Wow, the layers here. So, Raych, Seldon's foster son, he's a Dalite, very loyal, has this knack for making people like him. He gets sent to trap Joranum
How?
by telling him Demerzel is a robot.
Exactly. And Geranum, being Mycogenian, he's already culturally primed to believe in robots from their old tales. It's the perfect bait. And ironically, Geranum's own favorite story, the Axe of Ven, this magic axe only the hero Ven could lift. It kind of echoes psychohistory itself, doesn't it? This incredibly powerful tool, maybe only someone like Seldon can truly wield it. It hints at that specialization needed.
Okay, so the politics just keep escalating. Joranum eventually falls. But the sources point to something much bigger, a huge tragedy for the Empire, the assassination of Emperor Cleon I by a gardener, Mandel Gruber, just
Wow.
out of nowhere, it seems.
Well, not entirely out of nowhere for the plotters. What's really chilling is how Namarki, Geranum's guy, planned to use the chaos. The original plan was actually for Raych, disguised as a gardener named Planchette, to attack Seldon, to make it look like some kind of family feud, a distraction. Killing the Emperor wasn't the initial plan, it was more seizing the opportunity when chaos erupted, a quick, brutal attempt at regime change.
And in the middle of all that terror and confusion, Demerzel drops the bombshell, reveals his real name, Daniel Oliva, an ancient name. And then he suggests Seldon should take over as first minister. His reasoning is incredible. He says, I've been here too long.
And the succession of crises has reached the point where the consideration of the three laws paralyzes me.
It's the laws of robotics. They compel him to protect humanity, but the situation is so complex, so dangerous, that any action risks harm. He's literally frozen by his own ethical programming.
He has to step back. It's the only way to ensure humanity's safety, paradoxically.
So time jumps forward. Seldon's older now, 60s, 70s. He's not first minister anymore, but the weight of his project, Psychohistory and the Empire's decline, it's really hitting him. What he predicted is now just happening all around him on Trantor. There's a sense of melancholy. He reflects on being 60, worrying his life's work might be unfinished.
Yeah, the decline isn't theoretical now. It's very real on Trantor. The sources talk about constant breakdowns, like sections of the dome lights going out, glitches in public transport, the security establishment shrinking, crime is up, roving gangs, medical services are declining. It's visible decay.
And the public. How they see Seldon changes completely. He becomes Raven Seldon, blamed for the bad news he predicted. It's ironic, isn't it? Ridge points it out. They may blame the messenger for the message.
And his funding struggles just mirror the Empire's bigger money problems. He's dealing with, 7,500 legislators under Emperor Aegis XIV. Even the Emperor admits he feels powerless. Seldon himself notes how this huge, complicated tax system just fuels discontent and rebellion. The whole system is sick.
But right when things seem darkest, there's this unexpected shift, a new possibility. And it comes through his granddaughter, Wanda. She's young, 7 going on 8. It starts with something seemingly small. A bad dream she has about lemonade death. Sounds childish, but it's a clue.
It really is, because Wanda has this incredible ability. She can hear people's thoughts, and sometimes when she wants, she pushes them. Even as a child, she read Hari's mind. She spotted a mistake in Amaryl's complex math on the prime radiance, this giant projection of psychohistorical equations, like a map of the future. And her reason, she just says, it's not pretty, I do it a different way. It shows this raw, intuitive mental power.
Seldon, being Seldon, investigates. He starts looking for others like her, which leads him to Stettin Palver, another twister, someone who can handle minds.
Yeah, Palver confirms it. I just know what people are thinking or have thought. It's not just Wanda, it's a thing. And this massive discovery reshapes the whole plan. It leads to the idea of a silent and secret foundation. This turns out to be the second foundation, made up of these mentalics.
Right, so unlike the first foundation, which is all about science and rebuilding openly,
the second foundation works in the shadows, guiding minds, nudging events. It's the hidden hand needed to keep the plan on track. Wanda puts it perfectly. One of us alone can do only so much, but both of us together, that collaboration is key.
But achieving this vision comes at such a terrible cost, so much personal tragedy for Hari. He loses Raych, his foster son, and Raich's wife, Manella, their daughter, Bellis. Their ship, the Arcadia 7, just disappeared, gone. The man trying to save billions can't save his own family. It's heartbreaking.
And the work itself is dangerous. It takes a toll. Amaryl, Seldon's colleague for years, he becomes vague, distant. The text says he's passionate only about succeeding Seldon. Why? It seems it's due to using the electroclarifier too much.
That device they use to input data into the prime radiant?
Yeah, designed by Sindamone, but maybe flawed. Dors figures it out, this device, built by Ilar and Mane. It's sucking life out of the users. It damages them over time.
And the ultimate sacrifice. Dors, his protector, his wife. She finally confesses to Hari she's a robot, assigned by Daniel all those years ago. And in her last moment, she says something profound. You loved me, and your love made me human.
And her death. It's linked directly to that same device, the electroclarifier. She used it repeatedly, trying to protect Hari, running calculations, pushing its limits. It destroyed her. It's just loss after loss. But even with all that, and his own aging, Seldon keeps going. He has to. Wanda steps up, takes over Amaryl's work on the Prime Radiant, using her unique mental abilities.
So Seldon focuses on setting up the first foundation on Terminus, the Encyclopedia Project,
while also secretly nurturing the second foundation, the Mentalics. His final look at the Prime Radiant sums it all up. 30,000 years of potential chaos compressed into a single millennium. That was his achievement. his burden.
So wrapping this up, what does all this mean for you listening in, trying to grasp the depth of this story? We've really followed Hari Seldon's relentless drive, haven't we? Pushing this incredible vision through politics, decay, terrible personal loss, all to forge a future for humanity.
What stands out, I think, is just the power of an idea, how resilient it can be, and how protection, guidance, it comes in unexpected ways, but also the very real, very human cost of trying to steer an empire. It really reminds you, doesn't it, that even against impossible odds, dedicated people can set things in motion that last for centuries.
As you think about this, what strikes you most? Is it Seldon's sheer conviction, even when they called him Raven Seldon, blaming him? Or maybe it's the quiet influence of characters like Dors or Wanda. Psychohistory itself wasn't perfect yet, but it inspired so much fear and so much hope.
And maybe think about that Acts of Ven's story again, that powerful tool only the master can wield. How does that apply to big ideas or even, talents people have but don't recognize? Sometimes the biggest changes don't come from the people in charge, the emperors or politicians. They come from the quiet work. A mathematician's insight, a protector's loyalty, a child's hidden power. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What hidden potentials might you have that could quietly, maybe powerfully reshape your own world?